Hi, I'm Detective Bob Friel, and Public Information Officer for the Aurora Police Department. After watching this video, you'll be aware of a new scam that has reached out from the East Coast to Colorado. And you will have heard from an expert on how to avoid this scam and others like them. Colorado, of course, is known for its severe weather. And this severe weather can cause damage to businesses and homes. With this damage comes the need for home repairs and home improvements. And that is when scam artists strike. Take, for example, June 7th of this year. Most people in the Denver metro area will remember that on Sunday a tornado struck the southeast portion of Aurora. Thankfully, no one was killed. However, the twister did significant damage to homes and businesses. The next day, a suspicious email began to circulate around to a number of people. You may have seen this email. It was from an out-of-state business that claimed to make storm shelters. Someone at the business was looking for people to send them money for paperwork that explained what they could do for you. But before they did any work, they wanted potential customers to send them a $50 check. I checked into this business. The BBB, or the Better Business Bureau, had never heard of them. They weren't listed in the white pages, and they couldn't be found on the internet. When I checked with the state where they could have been licensed, of course there was no license there. There was simply no record of this business anywhere. All things considered, this business does appear to be running a scam. Now you're about to hear from Detective Cliff Hunter, who is an expert on financial scams and other forms of financial trickery. Detective Hunter has been working in the Economic Crime Unit and has a certified fraud examiner's license. Detective Hunter has seen a number of these scams and has joined us here today to talk about this particular scam. Thank you, Detective Hunter, for joining us today.
My pleasure.
You've had a chance, I assume, to look at the email that was circulated around from this business. Did you see anything that concerned you?
I saw a number of things that concerned me about the email. Number one is people asking in advance for money. That's always a red flag. Another thing is when you start seeing different addresses and emails. They're from Oklahoma, but they're licensed in Virginia.
As I researched this company, there was no record of them anywhere to be found. Do you see that as a problem?
It's always a problem. Businesses are almost always licensed. How do you advertise if you're not listed anywhere? You're not in the yellow pages. You're not in the internet. How do people get your name? How do you survive as a business if you're not listed?
Okay, good point. There are, of course, a number of red flags related to scams and con artists. What are some of those that you would provide to us today to tell us to watch out for these kinds of scams?
Well, there's a number of red flags that people should be aware of. One of the biggest one is people ask for money up front. Very rarely do we do businesses, especially with contracts, to where you provide your money up front. Another one is where they come to you. They're come knocking on your door to door. People like, oh, we can do your roof. That's always a red flag.
What can people do to protect themselves from home repair or improvement scams?
There's a number of things that people can do to protect themselves. This would be something as simple as going to the Better Business Bureau, doing an internet search for the name of the company, pulling up the phone number off the business card, the company name, the homeowner's or the company owner's name. You might also want to consider getting the contract in writing, not just a verbal contract. That way, if there's a disagreement later, you can sit there and you can actually go to court and say, this is what was supposed to be done and this is what was done. Ask them for references. When you get the contract in writing, be very careful how you pay for it. Be very leery about giving money up front. One of the best recommendations we make is a payment system. Once they get to a certain point in the job, you give them a certain amount of money. Once they get to the next point of the job, you give them more money. Once they get to the final point, withhold that final payment until it's basically done to your standards and done within contract. If that could be the only leverage that you have at that point to make sure it's done right. You also want to consider not putting your credit card number. We're finding more and more, they're like, oh, well, for the contract, I'll need a credit card number. Be very leery of this, because once you give them that credit card number, they have access to financial means.
That's great advice. We appreciate you giving that to us. I've also heard that a reference can be priceless. Is there any truth to that?
Oh, by all means. Businesses, especially small businesses, thrive on references. ask them for a reference list of companies that or homes that they've repaired, businesses that they've worked on. A large number of times the contractors will be happy to show you a photo album of some of the work that they've done.
We've been talking about home improvement and repair scams, but really this advice applies to any kind of work that you're going to have done at your home or business, does it not?
Oh, by all means. Anytime you're giving people money, be very leery. Most of us tend to work very hard for our money. Let's protect our assets, and let's keep in mind that, you know, when we have work done on our homes, we have landscaping done, we have home repairs, we have renovations done. These are things that we expect to last for years and years. And yeah, it's going to be expensive, but let's make sure we spend our money wisely.
Well, the next time you need to have work done on your home or business, consider the advice given by Detective Hunter today. And be willing to ask the tough questions. Be willing to kick the tires of a business and really check it out before you hire somebody to do any work. For more information, contact the Economic Crimes Unit at 303-739-6154 or visit the ECU online at aurorapolice.com. Thank you and have a good day.